Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Tuesday, the 26th of December. Good to have you aboard, part of the Believe Podcast Network, and presented as always by Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. Hope everyone had a nice holiday, a Merry Christmas. If you had a long weekend, you're back at work. It's all happening. We got a great show planned for you guys today. We're going to have a great week. If you were with us yesterday, if you hung out on Christmas Day, I'm super glad that you hung out with us. If you listened yesterday, I hosted ESPN Radio from 5:30 to 9 p.m. Did the last half because I went on right after the Nuggets and Warriors, or was it right after the Lakers? No, it was right after Nuggets and Warriors. Went on right after Nuggets and Warriors, so did like the last hour and a half of Freddie and Harry, and then did 2 hours of Amber and Ian, all right? So if you tuned in last night, if you heard a little bit of ESPN Radio, was able to recap a lot of the NFL, did some NBA, and I appreciate you guys joining me. Plus, you know the only people this time of year that get time off, the only people who don't get time off this type of year are the pro athletes, right? Of course, there's sports talk shows as well, but the pro athletes, they're always working. And that also includes everybody at BetOnline. With the NFL bowl season, the NBA in full swing over the holidays, BetOnline isn't taking a second off. They're going to make sure you have all the up-to-the-second odds, news, and info. BetOnline has all the sports wagering info available that you need with both desktop and mobile access. Head there today to get into the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. So, I hope everybody had a great Christmas yesterday. Part of a great Christmas is a Miami Heat victory. And of course, the big star from yesterday, your boy, total stud, Jaime Jaquez Jr. Now look, yesterday was a great sports day. A lot happened. You had 5 NBA games back-to-back. You had 3 NFL games back-to-back. Normally, it was weird yesterday, right? Because normally, NBA owns Christmas. NBA does the 5 games. But with the NFL yesterday, the NFL's like, fuck you guys. We're doing NFL. It's a Monday. We're just going to do 3 games. The NFL dominated the day yesterday. You know the NBA had to be pissed. Sucks for the NBA because I know I was much more dialed. Obviously, I was watching Heat Sixers last night once I got off the air from ESPN Radio. But throughout the day, I had the NBA on the iPad while I was getting ready and then doing my show on ESPN Radio yesterday. Had the NFL on the big TV here in the ZASLOW Mansion studios, which of course is here in the ZASLOW Mansion master bedroom, just a few feet away from where all the magic happens. You know what I'm talking about. The NFL dominates the day yesterday. But a great sports day. It was so much happening. So we'll get to the NFL stuff, which had major implications, some good, some bad, had major implications for your favorite little football team, the Miami Dolphins. But we're going to start here with your favorite little basketball team, the Miami Heat. So the Heat yesterday, in the 4th game of the 5 games yesterday, the Heat beat the Sixers, a game they were up big. Sixers come back, take the lead. Heat respond in the 4th quarter. Excellent job. They were up by 21 early in the 3rd. Game was tied going into the 4th. And then in the 4th quarter, it was a whole lot of Heat basketball and really was not a challenge in the final, like 2 minutes. The Heat took control. Duncan Robinson, huge 3-pointers. Bam Adebayo. Tyler Hero struggled shooting. He got it going in the 2nd quarter. Rough start to the game, rough second half. But the star of the game, Jaime Jaquez Jr. Jaime Jaquez Jr. yesterday, 31 points and 10 rebounds. How about 11 of 15 from the floor? And you don't need me to tell you this anymore. You know at this point. The Heat are 18-12, 30 games into the season, more than a third of the way through the season. You know by now, this is why they took this kid. Not because they think he's going to be a really good player, but they knew a 4-year player in college and at a major program like UCLA, but a 4-year player in college, this is a kid who is going to be able to help them right away. And not only does he help them right away, but this does not look like a rookie. The bully moves to the basket. the IQ, the passing. He could shoot as well. The takes to the basket, the footwork. Remember I told you in preseason, the thing that stood out to me most about Jaime Jaquez Jr., he looks like Jimmy Butler out there. He plays like Jimmy Butler. The footwork is fantastic. And for a player his age and his experience, 22-year-old rookie, what's he going to look like in a few years from now? Jaime Jaquez Jr., total stud. And like I told you, I think part of the reason that people were upset about no Damian Lillard trade was we need something to spice up the season, right? We need something to keep us from October to April, something to keep us entertained, something new, something fresh. Damian Lillard would do that. A trade for a superstar player would do that. And I think some of the disappointment in not acquiring it was, it's going to be the same ho-hum shit. There'll be a middling playoff team. They'll get to the playoffs, and then I can get excited. For me, I turn on the Heat game every night. The thing I enjoy the most is watching Jaime Jaquez Jr. play. That's the special thing right now about this season. I put the game on, I can't take my eyes off Jaime Jaquez Jr. He is the most interesting part of this team, and they did it again. Jaime Jaquez Jr., obviously the story of the game yesterday, but he is my favorite part of Heat games right now. He has essentially saved this regular season from monotony. The monotony that we thought we were going to get when not making some type of big trade. Now, I'm not going to say that the Heat hit the jackpot with Jaime Jaquez. That happens in Dwayne Wade's rookie year. And I didn't even say the Heat hit the jackpot with Dwayne Wade until probably the postseason that year. I'm not going to say they hit the jackpot with Jaime Jaquez Jr., but I am absolutely going to say they 1,000% have found a core member of their team moving forward. They have a foundational player that they can add now to Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. They have a core foundational member of their team now into the future with Jaime Jaquez Jr., which we know is so important as Jimmy Butler continues to age. Total stud. And now, you guys know this, I've told you this before, one of my favorite things, when I was a kid, and the Heat weren't any good, but when I was a kid and the Heat were on national TV, I loved when they were on national TV because I wanted everybody else to see my team. I wanted them to see that my players are good. No internet back then. Things were different. You didn't get all the games. I want everybody to see my team. I want everyone to see how good Glenn Rice is. I want them to see how good Steve Smith is. I want them to see how good Grant Long is. I loved when the Heat were on national TV. And yesterday, the whole country got to see it. Like, it's kind of on the periphery. It's like, Jaime Jaquez Jr., won Eastern Conference Player of the Month. That's interesting. Okay, and now the whole country got to see it because he had that game on the Christmas Day stage. That shit was awesome. And like I said, he is the story for me going into every one of these games now. I can't wait to watch how he continues to progress. 31 points and 10 rebounds, 11 of 15 shooting. I know there was no Joel Embiid there, but this isn't a one-hit wonder kind of deal. He's been phenomenal for them this season. Go look up what his numbers have been, not just for this season, but like over the last month. He's been phenomenal. And they did it again, man. Finding a mid-round draft pick. Bam Adebayo in the teens, Tyler Hero in the teens, and you could already, this is not a fluke, you can already add Jaime Jaquez Jr. to that list. Found him in the teens. How about that? 3, like I said, core foundational members of this team's future. Bam, Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez Jr., all selected in the teens. 2 of them late lottery picks, the other one not in Jaquez Jr. How about that? You want to talk, the Heat aren't good at drafting, Riley with the first round picks. First of all, there were so many years they didn't have a first round pick because they make big trades. And then when they do have first round picks, they're rarely lottery picks because this team since Riley got here is almost always in the postseason. So it was always super misleading about the Heat, they're not good at draft. Well, they're drafting late in the first round. It's very difficult to get a good player. But you look at what this team has done now over the last, because Bam was drafted, I believe, in 17. So the last 7 drafts, right? From 17 to 23. In the teens, they have found Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez Jr. It's fucking awesome. So, it's so exciting because, yeah, it's one thing where you trade for a star player. You got to give up something to get something. Or you sign a star player in free agency. All right, it's a lot of money. You're not going to be able to afford other players. But when you make the pick, and look, you even see at the top of the draft, if you have a top 5 pick, look at what Amen and Asar Thompson are doing for Houston and Detroit. I'll translate it for you. Nothing. And they were the numbers 4 and 5 pick in the draft, right? Number 1, Wembanyama, 2, Brandon Miller. Were then the Thompsons 3 and 4. I think they were 4 and 5. They're doing nothing. So if you get a player who's not like guaranteed number 1 overall pick, you know he's going to be a stud like Wembanyama. If you get a player in that draft, once you realize, whoa, stud, that is a game changer for your franchise. Especially because for these next 5 years, super cheap labor. It's like in the NFL. If your quarterback is going to be awesome on his rookie contract, that's when you need to pounce. When you're getting that value from the quarterback before he's making the huge bucks. Same thing here. The Heat won their first championship in Dwayne Wade's 3rd year. He was not making a lot of money. So you're able to have all those other parts, right? If you could get that value from the young player on the young contract, that's what the Heat are going to get now with Jaime Jaquez Jr. over the next few years. And I don't think I'm overstating it. He's a total stud. Now, here's the next thing. Let's rewind the clock. I said the other day that I'm not so sure the Heat would be better if they had Damian Lillard right now. Meaning, if they were going to trade Tyler Hero, who's having a great year, struggled shooting last night, Duncan Robinson, who's having a career year, and Jaime Jaquez Jr. Forget the draft picks. Would the Heat be a better team right now, minus those 3 guys, plus Damian Lillard? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. Now, considering, and everyone saw it yesterday on Christmas Day. So, I think the Heat got a little bit lucky that trade didn't happen. I think they're better with these guys than they would have been with Lillard. You know, look, if it could have been Lowry and Jovic and even Robinson, all right, where you still keep Hero and you have Jaime Jaquez Jr., that's a different story, but they're probably giving up Hero, Jaquez Jr., and Robinson for Damian Lillard. And draft picks. Considering that now let's look back at it. Blazers are terrible, but we knew they were going to be terrible this year. They're 7-21. Considering the Blazers would have been able to have Hero, Robinson, Jaquez Jr., and Joe Cronin, that cockroach general manager for the Blazers, wouldn't even pick up the phone and have a conversation with the Heat. If you're Portland, you need to consider firing him. Could have had Hero, Robinson, Jaquez Jr., multiple first-round picks. They still would have had DeAndre Ayton. That's a separate deal. It's what they wouldn't have gotten is they wouldn't have gotten Drew Holiday. So they wouldn't have gotten Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams and those draft picks. Which would you rather at this point? Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams' corpse, and draft picks, or Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez Jr., and draft picks? That's a joke. If the Blazers wouldn't even engage the Heat, if Joe Cronin decided to make it personal and wouldn't even have a conversation with the Heat, and the Heat would have, we don't know for sure, the Heat would have offered Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez Jr., and draft picks, and Joe Cronin wouldn't even have a conversation because his feelings are hurt, you need to fire him. That can't be your general manager. And look, I'm not pissed off personally because the Heat are better off. It turns out it would not have been a good trade for the Heat. What I am pissed off about is it was disrespectful. Joe Cronin, that cockroach, he disrespected the Heat by not engaging. You can't have a conversation? He disrespected my city by not having a conversation. He disrespected me by not having a conversation. Show some respect. Blazers should fire him. I mean, if you wouldn't even have a conversation, and that's what the Heat would have offered you, if you would have just picked up the phone, you need to be fired. You cannot, because they still would have had DeAndre Ayton. You cannot make a case that Tyler Hero, who's averaging 23, 24 points a game, shooting career-high field goals, career-high three-point percentage, getting you 5 rebounds, getting you 5 assists. Duncan Robinson, who's having a career season, shooting over 40%, scoring 15 points a game. Jaime Jaquez Jr., who is easily the third best rookie. You think that Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams' corpse is better than that? Joe Cronin should be fired. Terrible job. I gotta be honest. I'm glad it didn't work out. That's exciting, man. He was awesome yesterday. Bam had 26 points and 15 rebounds. Hero struggled. He had 22. Robinson had 16. He had 5 threes. He was 5 of 10. Huge three, essentially, to ice the game with about 3 minutes to go. But Jaime Jaquez Jr., 31 points, 10 rebounds, 11 of 15. That's what I'm talking about. That shit was awesome. We'll get to Twitter Jam coming up. No spoiler, Twitter Jam might be on the Heat. It might be on Jaime Jaquez Jr. Other NBA stuff there yesterday, though. You had the 5 games. The Heat, of course, were the 4th game there. New York beats Milwaukee 129-122. Denver beats Golden State 120-114. Boston, I was surprised that I thought Boston was going to murder the Lakers. Boston won 126-115. I'm not a fan of Boston. Obviously, I hate their guts. I mean, fuck them. I'm not a fan, meaning I think they shoot way too many threes, and you can't rely on Kristaps Porzingis. And if he is healthy, he's never playing a big game. Yes, I know Jrue Holiday is a dog, but Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, they're going to miss that attitude come the postseason. And the Heat are going to do the exact same thing to them in the playoffs that they always do. The Heat will absolutely out-tough them. They will out-physical them. The Celtics are way too reliant on three-point shooting. But I was surprised the Lakers hung around in that game. I was. Dallas beat Phoenix 128-114. Phoenix under 500. They're 14-15. That team is not good. And even if Bradley Beal eventually plays, I think those 3 guys have played 2 or 3 games together. If Bradley Beal does eventually play, still, the rest of that roster, the depth, that's not a good team. That is not a good roster. And another thing, not just Riley not being able to get the trade done for Damian Lillard, even though it was clearly not his fault. He wanted to make the trade. That cockroach Joe Cronin, who should be fired, wouldn't even engage with the Heat. What are they supposed to do? So you criticize Riley there, and also criticize Riley for not getting the Bradley Beal trade. That would have been a disaster. You want this Bradley Beal mess on your hands? No. It's Phoenix's problem. And look, let's have a truthful conversation now about Kevin Durant. Here's some reality. And I know it's going to be a thing. There's reports out there. Wojnarowski, the organization feels Durant's unhappiness. They can feel that he's not happy with, obviously, the losing and all that. What? Why would he be? Why would he be happy? But and look, he's not going to get traded. He's not going to ask for a trade. I mean, I guess you can't put it past him, but that's not what's happening here. And we know, hey, you always got to make sure the NBA star player is happy. It's a very big deal if NBA players are happy. Are you happy? You got to keep NBA players happy. They get very unhappy, and then you got to do things to make them happy. So keep an eye on Kevin Durant and whether or not he's happy. But here's the thing, and let's have a conversation. Well, not even a conversation. I'm just going to drop a truth bomb on you. Here's the thing. Durant is amazing. He's one of the all-time great players. But let's be honest here. He won 2 championships with the Golden State Warriors after joining what was the greatest regular season team of all time. A team that was already a champion. He then joined them, won 2 titles. So outside of joining the greatest regular season team of all time, Kevin Durant has been in the NBA for 14 other years. 17 total. 14 years he has been in the league, not with the Golden State Warriors. He's been to the NBA Finals 1 time. Has not won an NBA Finals. In 14 years, not playing with the greatest regular season team of all time, Durant has been to, never won, he's been to 1 NBA Final in 14 years. All-time great player. But I'm sorry. If you're one of the greatest of all time, you should probably be able to get to the finals more than once in 14 years when you don't join the Golden State Warriors. To me, that's a major check against him. A major check. All right, obviously we'll get to some Dolphins stuff here because yesterday's 3 NFL games, there were major implications as far as the Dolphins are concerned. First, though, let me tell you guys about one of our great sponsors. You know I'm about to tell you how I've been getting that great sleep. Sheets and Giggles. If you're not sleeping so great, you know what it could be? You're not taking advantage of the best sheets out there. The softest, coolest, most breathable sheets you've ever slept on in your life. Go to sheetsgiggles.com. And just like the ZASLOW family, you're going to become one of over 100,000 Americans who are sleeping on Sheets and Giggles and never turning back. What if I told you you can get the comforter? I got the pillowcases, the blanket, the bed sheets. I sleep on a eucalyptus pillow. Have you ever slept on a eucalyptus mattress? Go to sheetsgiggles.com where you're getting the most breathable sheets out there. You're going to stay cool and comfortable all night long. You're never going to have to worry about where you get your sheets from. And what if I told you your first order at sheetsgiggles.com, if you use promo code ZASLOW, you're going to get 20% off at checkout. 20% off at checkout. All you got to do is use promo code ZASLOW, ZASLOW, sheetsgiggles.com, promo code ZASLOW. Again, sheetsgiggles.com. Let's get to Twitter Jam. So this week's edition of Twitter Jam, lately it's been on the Dolphins. But hey, yesterday, the Heat are starting to roll, 18-12 now. They win yesterday without Jimmy Butler. They beat a good team in the 76ers, albeit minus Joel Embiid. And the big star was your boy, Juan Wick, Jaime Jaquez Jr. Twitter Jam today is on the Heat and Jaime Jaquez Jr. First up, this tweet is from NBA Central. That's an NBA news aggregate account. They're very good. They give you the good news. And it's a picture of Jaime Jaquez doing a post-game interview for radio. And it says, Jaime Jaquez Jr. tonight, 31 points, 10 rebounds, 73% field goals. What a Christmas debut for the Rook. That's right. This next tweet here is from Wes Goldberg. He is the managing editor for All You Can Heat, and he co-hosts the podcast Locked On Heat. And here he tweets, this is just star stuff from Jaime Jaquez Jr. Every time you think you've seen his limits as a rookie, he pulls something new out of his bag. Hesitation, behind the back crossover, pump fake, and hook shot. 11, man. Here's the clip.
4. And after the free throws, Philadelphia up by 4 points. Jaquez with a quick sit dribble, got to the rim. Jaime Jaquez Jr.
All right, there you go. This next tweet is from Playbook Sports. Playbook Sports is it's a sports betting network, I guess, all right? And they tweet out, Jaime Jaquez Jr., first rookie in NBA history to put up at least 31 points and 10 rebounds on 80% true shooting with 0 turnovers. Second rookie in Heat history, 30-point, 10-rebound double-double. Fifth rookie ever with a 30-10 game on Christmas Day. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Second rookie in Heat history, 30-point, 10-rebound double-double. Who could have been a Heat rookie who had a 30-point, 10-rebound double? I mean, could Wade have done that, 30 and 10? I mean, was Wade, Wade in his rookie year, he averaged only about 16 points per game. He definitely had, several 30-point games. Did he have a 30-point, 10-rebound game? Huh. I don't know. Yeah, it's got got to be Wade, right? I don't know. That's a good one, though. That's a good one. This next tweet is from Hot Hoops. That's a Miami Heat blog. And they tweet out, Jaime Jaquez Jr. showed out on a nationally televised stage in his first Christmas Day game. Career high in points and rebounds while shooting 70% from the field. This rookie has a real chance to be very special for this Miami Heat organization. Fuck yeah. Triple J helped the Heat lead the way to the W and improve Coach Spo's Christmas record to a perfect 9-0 in Jimmy Butler's absence. Hell yeah. When's the last time, forget about it for the Heat. When's the last time, in general, a 4-year collegiate player ended up a star in the NBA? That might be what we're headed toward with Jaime Jaquez Jr. Now, of course, back in the 80s and even into the 90s, star players, number 1 overall picks were 4-year guys all the time. Tim Duncan always comes to mind. Who's the last star player who did 4 years at school? That's something to think about. This next tweet is from Heat Nation. That's a Miami Heat fan page. They tweet out a picture of Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. Smith says, quote, "The Miami Heat don't have enough." Well, they went to the NBA Finals without their third best player in Tyler Hero, a 25-point per game scorer, no Oladipo, who locked up Brown in 22, Jimmy on one ankle, lost Gabe and Max. Gabe right now is out for the season. Max is a decent role player. Right now, Jimmy, Bam, Hero all together. Rookie of the Year Jaime, who can give you 30. The Boston Killer in Caleb. New and improved Duncan Robinson. A better backup big in Bryant and Orlando than Cody Zeller. ESPN don't know ball. Now, I'm certainly not co-signing ESPN don't know ball, but we've been through this with Stephen A. Smith. How many Heat games, maybe he watched yesterday, it was Christmas, I don't know. How many Heat games has Stephen A. Smith watched this year? Very little. Stephen A. Smith doesn't watch. He watches the big-time games, he watches the primetime games, and then he looks at the box score. He doesn't watch. And we know this about the Dolphins too and Tua. He doesn't watch. So forget about it. Everybody's got to have an opinion. That's how this business works. But he doesn't watch the Heat. This next tweet is from Heat Lead. That is it's a Heat fan account. And they tweet out, hear what Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce had to say about Miami Heat rookie Jaime Jaquez Jr. Here's the clip.
So 76ers Heat.
I'm going to 70s. I like the Heat at home, man. It's hard to beat them. I like that young kid. Listen, we keep talking about Wemby and Czech. This kid down in Miami is making a difference.
Jaime Vasquez.
He is making a difference. I know he played on. I already know. You're gonna say he played on P All Stars.
Yeah, he played
on the P After Dark All Stars.
Jaime is making a name for himself, no doubt.
Now listen. He's looking like when Timmy came in, you was like, oh yeah, that's why you do a 4-year college kid because he came in
receiving.
He looking like he goddamn been playing the league like 3-4 years already.
Right, yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Very seasoned, bro. Like I'm talking about big shots, nose timing score.
Right.
On his hand, his technique. I'm like, damn. Listen, he in that talk, bro. Wemby, Czech, and him are like the 3 running for me.
He's number 3 in the rookie.
Yeah, trying to tell you, he's playing well, bro. He in that conversation.
Shout out to my guy, Jaime.
I gotta tell you, I hate those guys. I think Kevin Garnett's very good in this role. I think he's good on his show. I never watch it, but whenever I see clips, I think Garnett's good. Paul Pierce is such a dunce. Jaime Vasquez, he sucks. He puts in no effort. Remember when Paul Pierce said he's got big things on the horizon when he was fired from ESPN? Like he's a nobody in the media landscape. He sucks. But yeah, like Kevin Garnett loves Jaime Jaquez Jr. How can you not? And finally, this tweet is from the NBA account. Quote, to even be in that conversation is crazy. It's Jaime Jaquez on joining the greats with his historic Christmas performance. Here's Jaime Jaquez post-game.
Michael Jordan only had 30 in his first Christmas game. LeBron had 34. Does it mean anything to you to kind of be up there with some of the greats all time with a game like this on your first Christmas game?
Yeah, to even be in that conversation is crazy. Yeah, really no words. You said Michael Jordan only had 30, so I don't know if that means I'm better than Michael Jordan, although I am wearing his gear right now, so yeah.
That's my dog right there. I love him. Jaime Jaquez Jr. Everyone, if you didn't know, now you know. And that right there is another edition of Twitter Jam.